at the discretion of the speaker, and the answer to it is oral, and supplementary questions जो है वो follow करना है. So let's see what is there in this question arc. सारा कुछ लिखा हुआ है. You don't have to write anything. Please don't have to write anything. So question arc is a scheduled period where various matters of public interest during parliamentary session. That means question R जो है, it is when members of parliament they have the opportunity to ask questions to ministers regarding various matters of public importance. That is, there are various matters with regard to public interest, और वो भी during parliamentary session. And this period it occurs usually the first hour of every sitting in both houses, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So first hour in both the houses, that means 11 a.m. to 12 noon. ठीक है, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. इसके अलावा जो डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैं, उसमें सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन जो आता है, दैट इज द स्टार्ड क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, स्टार्ड क्वेश्चन मींस these questions they are distinguished by asterisk sign. Distinguished by asterisk sign. ठीक है, and these questions they require oral answers from the ministers. And starred question जो है, allowed to ask supplementary questions. Allowed to ask supplementary questions. और बोला जाता है submitted in advance. That is 15 days. Submitted in advance, that is 15 days. मतलब एक 15 day का नोटिस देना पड़ता है. ठीक है, एंड क्वेश्चन आर में जो स्टार्ट क्वेश्चन है, ओनली 20 क्वेश्चंस आर पिक्ड. ठीक है, ओनली 20 क्वेश्चंस they are picked on a day. ठीक है, and please remember they are printed in green color card. They are printed in green color card. Then unstarred question में क्या है? Unstarred question they require written answers. और वो भी किससे? फ्रॉम द मिनिस्टर्स. ठीक है, दे रिक्वायर रिटन आंसर, प्लस डू नॉट हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू आस्क सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चंस. डू नॉट हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू आस्क सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चंस, एंड ऑल्सो सबमिटेड in advance 15 days. Submitted in advance 15 days. और ये प्रिंट किस में होता है? They are printed in white color. They are printed in what? White color. So there is unstarred questions. ठीक है, remember it, there is unstarred क्वेश्चंस व्हाइट कलर कार्ड में रखा जाता है and submitted in advance of 15 days. Then short notice question, very important. Short notice questions में these questions can be asked by giving a notice of less than 10 days. वहां पे you have to give a notice of 15 days in both the cases, above cases. यहाँ giving a notice of less than 10 days. And here they are answered what? Orally. And they are printed in a pink color card. They are printed in what? Pink color card. Now, apart from this, all of you must remember that in addition to ministers, question can also be asked to private members. ठीक है, क्वेश्चंस जो है वो प्राइवेट मेंबर्स को भी हो सकता है. नाउ दिस इज क्वेश्चंस टू प्राइवेट मेंबर्स. ठीक है, क्वेश्चंस कैन बी आस्क्ड टू प्राइवेट मेंबर्स और वो भी मैटर्स रिलेटेड टू देम. एंड दीज क्वेश्चंस दे आर प्रिंटेड इन येलो कलर कार्ड. इसका मतलब क्वेश्चन आर में कितने काइंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन है? एक्चुअली देयर आर 3. दैट इज, वन इज द स्टार्ड इन विच देयर इज ओरल आंसर and there is a supplementary question which follows. Then there is an unstarred question in which there is a written answer and no supplementary questions are followed. और स्टार्ड क्वेश्चन में तुम्हारा आपका ग्रीन कलर कार्ड होता है. देन इन अनस्टार्ड क्वेश्चन देयर इज द व्हाइट कलर कार्ड. एंड देन कम्स द शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन क्वेश्चन less than 10 days and they are orally, matlab they are answered orally and they are kept in the pink color card. Apart from this, tumhara questions can be asked to private members also, and when they are asked to private members, then they are kept in yellow color card and they can be matters related to them. Clear? Okay. Then after that, question R के बाद a very important thing, and that is with regard to the 0R. Now 0R, you should know, it is not mentioned in the rules of procedure. Rather, it is an Indian innovation and it is since 1962, and you can say that 0R is the time which starts after the end of the question hour and it continues till the normal business of the house is taken up. Normal business of the house जो है वो generally आपको 1 घंटे के बाद ले लिया जाता है. So we can say that 0R जो है वो एक ऐसा time gap है between the end of the question hour and the starting of the business of the house. 1962 it was started, and members who want to ask questions in the business hour, they can raise matters that are of urgent importance, and that is also without prior notice. और notice जो MPs देंगे, that must be before 10 AM to the speaker on the date of sitting. So that is what is the, you can say, 0R. So 0R जो है, its scheduled period, 0R, its scheduled period that starts immediately after the question hour. So scheduled period that starts immediately after the question hour and last until the agenda or the regular business of the house is taken up. ठीक है. और 0R में what kind of questions are raised? To raise matters without prior notice. या मतलब to raise matters that are urgent rejected but without prior notice. इसके अलावा not mentioned in the rules of procedure, and so we can say it's an informal device. ये Indian innovation है. It's an Indian innovation, and that too in the proceedings. ठीक है, Indian innovation and Indian innovation है since 1962. ठीक है, Indian innovation since 1962, and here members give notice before 10 a.m. ठीक है, members give notice before 10 a.m. to the speaker on the day of sitting. ठीक है, to the speaker on the day of sitting. और इसमें स्पीकर, ठीक है, स्पीकर डिसाइड्स whether to take up, ठीक है, it is the speaker who decides whether to take up या whether to ठीक है, whether to allow the matter to be raised. ठीक है, so that is with regard to the 0 hour. Okay. अब आप सबको पता रहना चाहिए कि मोशंस के बात करेंगे. मोशंस जो है they are formal proposals which are made by a member of the legislature. Formal proposals made by the member of the legislature, and that too to initiate discussion on a matter of general public importance. So it's a formal proposal which is made by the member of the parliament, and the member of the parliament wants to initiate the discussion, that too on a matter of general public importance. Now this motion, remember it can be moved either by a minister. So if it is a motion moved by a minister or by any private member, plus no discussion on such a matter can take place except on a motion made with the consent of the presiding officer. That means on the motion the discussion can only take place with the consent of the presiding officer, that is the speaker. ठीक है, consent of the presiding officer, that is the speaker. अब जो भी मोशंस होते हैं उनको 3 प्रिंसिपल कैटेगरीज में बांटा जाता है. एक आपका सब्सटैंटिव मोशन होता है, दूसरा आपका सब्स्टिट्यूट मोशन होता है, और तीसरा आपका सब्सिडरी मोशन होता है. सब्सटैंटिव मोशन जो होता है वो सेल्फ कंटेन्ड इंडिपेंडेंट प्रपोजल्स है. सेल्फ कंटेन्ड, that means that motion in itself has independent proposal, and that too dealing with a very important matter, like for example impeachment of the president. So that is something where we talk about substantive comes substitute motion. That means in place of the original motion, an alternative to it has been brought. And as a result, when alternative has been brought, so the alternative, it supersedes the original motion. और लास्ट है subsidiary motion. Subsidiary का मतलब by itself the motion does not have any meaning and cannot state the decisions of the house without reference to the original motion or procedure. मतलब this particular subsidiary motion, it cannot state the decisions of the house. कि जो भी decisions of the house है उसको ये state नहीं कर सकता है without reference to तुम्हारा original motion or with regard to the proceedings. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपको पता रहना चाहिए, first is substantive self-contained independent proposals, and it deals with very important matters such as impeachment of the president and all, removal of the chief justice and all, and it is submitted for approval of the presiding officer. So it's self-contained independent proposal. फिर उसके बाद substitute one, यहाँ पे it refers to a motion that is moved in substitution of an original motion. That is, it proposes an alternative act, or substitute motion is adopted by the House, it supersedes the original motion. Then after substitute motion, there is subsidiary motion. That is the motion which is in itself has no meaning and cannot state the decision of the house without reference to the original thing. तो कहने का मतलब subsidiary motion जो है by itself it does not have any meaning and also it cannot state the decision of the house without reference to the original motion. That means motion which in itself has no meaning and cannot state the decision of the house without reference to the original motion or proceedings of the house. So these are the various categories with regard with regard to the motion: substantive, substitute और subsidiary. अब इसके अलावा मतलब subsidiary में ही अब 3 टाइप का हो गया. Subsidiary itself has 3 types. One of the type with regard to subsidiary is the auxiliary motion. Auxiliary के बाद amendment motion और फिर superseding motion. When I say auxiliary motion, then it is used as regular way of proceeding. मतलब it's a regular way of proceeding with various. Superseding, that is moved in the course of a debate on another course. And amendment जो कि modify करना चाहता है और वो सब करना. चलो अब एक एक करके motions को हम लोग करते हैं. Now when I talk about closure motion, जब हम closure motion की बात करते हैं, तो closure motion's main aim is to cut short the debate on matter, ठीक है, debate on a matter before the house, and the matter it says that it should be put to vote, ठीक है. तो closure का मतलब आप उस debate को बंद कर दो. So for doing that a closure motion has to be brought. तो closure motion देखो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि member to cut short the debate, that is moved by a member to cut short the debate on a matter before the house. That means a matter is already before the house. उस matter पे अपना जो debate है उसको वो cut short कर सकता है. If the motion is approved by the house, the debate is supported and the matter is put to vote. मतलब motion को house से prove करना पड़वाना पड़ेगा और अगर motion को house से prove कर लोगे तब फिर what happens, the debate is stopped and 4 matters are put to vote. सबसे पहला 4 matters में सबसे पहला आता है simple closure. Simple closure का मतलब ये होता है कि motion it has been sufficiently discussed should now put to that is matters having been sufficiently discussed we now put to vote. मतलब यहाँ पे mutual understanding होती है. There is mutual understanding between the government and the other parties, and here the gentleman is like, sorry, discussion is like gentleman. So what happens? Simple closure. The motion having sufficiently discussed now puts the motion to vote, and its discussion is like a gentleman with mutual understanding. Okay, clear? Then comes closure by compartment. Closure by compartment कब होता है? जब clauses of the bill it is lengthy and they are grouped in you can say parts before uh, uh, before commencement in the debate. कि debate के होने से पहले ही इनको तुम्हारा parts में divide कर देता है. And when we talk about the debate it ensures that the part as a whole and the entire part it should be put to vote. कि entire part और part as a whole जो है वो आपको put to vote का. That means there is a big you can say house. Now that house is what to say subdivided. So that is what is called as closure of a bill or resolution. और ये हर parts में होता है before the commencement of debate. And ये debate क्या cover करता है? It covers the last part as the whole and the entire part is put to vote. अब kangaroo closure जैसे नाम पता है jumping decisions है, jumping of decisions. So under this type only important clauses are taken up for debate and voting. Only important clauses. ठीक है? तो जिसके कारण जो intervening clauses है they are skipped and they are taken as what? Pass. ठीक है? So that is what is kangaroo closure. Only important clauses are taken up for debate. And last one is guillotine clauses. Guillotine का मतलब हो गया when the clauses are not discussed, and these clauses why they are not discussed? Because of the bill's length and all. So this is when the undiscussed clause on a bill or a resolution also put to vote along with the discussed one. तो discussed one के साथ इसको put to vote करें. So closure motion may cut short the debate which has already been taking place, and it wanted the house of मतलब it wanted कि जो भी तुम्हारा ये motion होगा closure motion उसमें the part of the मतलब either the entire part is put to vote or part of the whole is put to vote. और इसमें दो टाइप्स है. एक है आपका सिंपल क्लोजर, दूसरा क्लोजर बाय कंपार्टमेंट, तीसरा कैंगरू क्लोजर और फोर्थ गुलिटाइन क्लोजर. ठीक है, क्लियर? ये आपका क्लोजर का 2 minutes. नेक्स्ट आपका आता है प्रिविलेज मोशन. देखो प्रिविलेज मोशन को समझने के लिए what happens is that this can be moved by a member, and that too against a minister who has breached the privileges and who has breached the what to say parliamentary privilege in the house. ठीक है? And it is moved by a member when the member feels that the ministers has committed a breach of privilege of the house. And how he has committed? By holding facts of a case or giving wrong distorted facts. तो ये privilege motion देख लो कि breach of privilege it is moved by a member when the member feels that the the minister has committed a breach of privilege of the house. ठीक है? And कैसे breach of privilege किया है? By withholding facts or by giving wrong facts. And here the purpose is what? To censor the concerned minister, that is both from the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. ठीक है? Both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha में closure motion pass हो सकता है. Yes, Anish, any doubt? Kindly tell me. Anish, कोई डाउट है तो प्लीज बताओ. Now after closure motion, it's the call attention motion. अब call attention motion जो है, this motion is moved by a member so as to call the attention of the minister, ठीक है, to a matter of urgent public importance. देखो यहाँ पे it is used by a member to call the attention of a minister. कि मिनिस्टर के अटेंशन को कॉल करना है. ओके, थैंक यू. मिनिस्टर के अटेंशन को कॉल करना है, एंड दैट टू ऑन अ मैटर ऑफ अर्जेंट पब्लिक इंपॉर्टेंस. एंड हियर the person who has called this motion, he seeks authoritative statement from from the minister, and it is existing since 1954. जीरो आर की तरह ये भी एक पार्लियामेंट्री इनोवेशन है, और इनोवेशन इन द पार्लियामेंट, एंड it is used in Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha. And unlike zero hour, it is mentioned in the rules of procedure. ठीक है? So this is the call attention motion. That means the member is calling the attention of a minister, that too to a urgent public importance matter, and also to achieve academic and to achieve you can say authoritative statement from the minister. That means the minister has to also give an authoritative statement. And just like the zero hour, it is also an Indian innovation in parliamentary devices, and it is moved by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. However, zero hour में however, unlike zero hour, it is mentioned in the rules of procedure. Zero hour तो rules of procedure में भी mentioned है. ठीक है? Then comes the adjournment motion. Adjournment motion का मतलब ये हो गया to draw the attention of the house on a definite matter of urgent public importance. That means you are trying to draw the attention of a minister, and that too in the Rajya Sabha with regard to मतलब sorry Rajya Sabha नहीं, कि जो भी हाउस है उसका अटेंशन को ड्रॉ कर रहा है towards a matter of general public या urgent public importance. And यहाँ पे we all should know that whenever a house moves the adjournment motion, then it has to be passed by 50 members. That means the 50 members should show their supporting to the motion. और डिस्कशन जो है वो सिर्फ लोकसभा में होता है, नो डिस्कशन इन द राज्यसभा. ठीक है? एंड डिस्कशन शुड नॉट लास्ट लेस देन 2.5 years. सॉरी 2.5 hours. years बोल दिया मैंने, 2.5 hours. And it is also an extraordinary परमिटेड नहीं है, क्योंकि इट बेसिकली इज इन्वॉल्विंग एन एलिमेंट ऑफ सेंसर। सेंसर का मतलब एक तरीके से उसके खिलाफ वो लेके आना, अविश्वास करना। एंड द डिस्कशन on the adjournment motion should not be less than 10 hours and 30 minutes। और कुछ फॉलोइंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं कि जब कभी भी whenever we are doing adjournment motion, then these are the you can say these are the restrictions। First restriction is that it should raise a matter that is definite, factual, urgent and of public importance। कि ऐसा मैटर रेज करो जो डेफिनाइट भी है, जो फैक्चुअल भी है, जो अर्जेंट भी है एंड जो पब्लिक इम्पोर्टेंस।
हेलो।
ठीक है, सो यू शुड रेज मैटर्स विच आर definite, factual, urgent, public importance। Second, it should not cover more than one matter। एक मैटर से ज्यादा कवर नहीं करना चाहिए। And it should be restricted to a specific matter of recent occurrence। restricted to a specific matter of recent occurrence मतलब कोई भी मैटर जो अभी अभी occurrence में आया है उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन हो सकता है। and it should not be framed in general terms and it should not raise a question of privilege। ठीक है, ओके। जस्ट अ मिनट, ये हैंग कर गया। एक मिनट। what has actually happened is that system is hanging। एक मिनट, I don't know what all is coming in the system। ठीक है, till it देखो एडजॉर्नमेंट मोशन फिर से आप थोड़ा सा समझ लेना। एडजॉर्नमेंट मोशन में व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दिस मोशन इज मूव्ड सो एज टू ड्रॉ द अटेंशन ऑफ द हाउस एंड दैट टू अ डेफिनाइट मैटर of urgent public importance, plus the matter to be moved needs the support of 50 members and it does not involve the Rajya Sabha and the discussions it should take place for at least 2.5 hours, that means not less than that, and there are certain conditions, एक मिनट। adjournment motion basically it is introduced in the parliament to draw the attention of the house, and that too with regard to a definite matter and of urgent public importance. And it needs the support of 50 members to be admitted. That means it is needing the support of how many members? It's needing the support of 50 members to be admitted. And it interrupts the normal business of the house. जो नॉर्मल बिजनेस ऑफ द हाउस है उसको इंटरप्ट कर देता है. As a result, it is an extraordinary device. Why extraordinary device? Because it is interrupting the normal business of the house. So because it is interrupting the normal business of the house, so that's why it is an extraordinary device. Plus it involves an element of censure against the government. There is a element of censure against the government. Censure is in the sense you are trying to put aside the government. मतलब एक तरीके से government को पूरा पीछे कर देना है. तो it is trying to censor against the government, and so the Rajya Sabha is not permitted to make use of this device. Then the discussion should not be less than 2 hours 30 minutes, and there are certain restrictions. The motion is subject to certain restrictions, and first is that it should raise a matter that is definite, factual, urgent and of public importance. तो वो जो matter raise हो रहा है हाउस में, it should be definite, it should be factual, it should be urgent, ठीक है, and of public importance. Plus it should not cover more than one matter. एक matter से ज़्यादा cover नहीं करना चाहिए. And it should be restricted to a specific matter of recent occurrence. मतलब it should not be with regard to any past matter or future matter, but a specific matter, a particular matter, and that too of recent occurrence. And it should not be framed in general terms. It should not raise a question of privilege. So these are the restrictions when we talk about adjournment motion. ठीक है? So that is what is with regard to the adjournment motion. और adjournment motion में और भी restrictions हैं. It should not revive discussion on a matter that has already been discussed. मतलब any matter that has been already discussed in the house, against that matter adjournment motion cannot be brought, or in the adjournment motion that matter cannot be brought because it is already dead. Then it should not deal with any matter that is under adjudication by the court. That means the court is hearing that matter, so it is under the adjudication of the court. Now such a matter cannot be brought up with regard to the adjournment motion, and it should not raise any question that can be raised separately through distinct motions. मतलब a matter which can be raised in the house through a separate motion. Now that type of matters should not be here. ठीक है? देखो, when it comes to adjournment motion, I will give you a very simple example. Now, when you say that examples with regard to the adjournment motion being brought in the house, आपने एक चीज देखा होगा कि मैंने यहां पे बोला कि to draw the attention of the house to a matter of to a definite matter of urgent public importance. Now, for example, if the government is trying to bring the matter of discussion with regard to NEET exams, NEET NEET exams, NEET exams में जो irregularities हुए थे, ठीक है, या with regard to the Manipur crisis, So in that case there can be, or with regard to the electoral roll discrepancies, ठीक है, जो 2020 से या एलपीजी क्राइसिस जिसमें the minister of power and petroleum had to stand up and had to give the reply. So that was LPG crisis, which is a recent one. तो इस टाइप के चीजों में तुम्हारा एडजॉर्नमेंट मोशन लाया जा सकता है. ओके अनीश, ठीक है, क्लियर है? So these are the cases where the adjournment motion can be actually brought. Then after that comes the no confidence motion. Now this no confidence motion, this is a motion which is moved by a member to express a lack of confidence on the Lok Sabha in the government. Matlab, this is a motion which is moved to show that the Lok Sabha has, matlab, yeah, the government has, the Lok Sabha does not have confidence on the government. So it is moved by a member to express the lack of confidence of the Lok Sabha in the government. And the motion is moved in accordance with the provision under Article 75. आपको पता होगा Article 75 में मैंने आपको बताया था कि the Union Council of Ministers, they are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. So whenever a no confidence motion is brought by a member, then this no confidence motion is brought as per Article 75 of the Constitution, stating that the minister or the government, it is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. And when it is brought by a minister, the minister is trying to show that the government has lost the confidence of the Lok Sabha. And it says that, it means that the government stays in office only as long as it enjoys the confidence of the majority of members in the Lok Sabha. Then it can only be moved in the Lok Sabha, plus again it also needs 50 members to be admitted, and the motion, if allowed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, is debated upon and then it is voted. And if it gets passed by the House by simple majority, the government has to resign. Clear है? अगर simple majority से अगर ये pass हो जाएगा तो government जो है it has to resign. ठीक है? So that is a no confidence motion. ठीक है? और एक आपका इसी से confidence motion भी आया है. Now this confidence motion, it is basically a new procedural device. It's a new procedural device ठीक है, new procedural device to cope with the to cope with the emerging situations of fractured mandates. ठीक है, emerging situation of fractures mandate resulting in hung parliament. ठीक है, resulting in what? Hung parliament. That means no party has got the majority. So what will happen? The parliament is a hung parliament. ठीक है? So cope with the emerging situation of fractured mandate resulting in the hung parliament negative, it results to fall of the government. ठीक है, it results to what? Fall of the government. Clear everyone? So this is a new one, that is the confidence motion. ठीक है, क्लियर? ठीक है, गॉट इट? तो ये चीज है, और ये याद रखो यहां पे जहां भी आपको ये जो वर्ड सेंसर आ रहा है, सेंसर मीन्स टू टेल समवन strongly and in a formal manner that you have done something wrong. ठीक है, that you have done something wrong. Now let's come to the censor motion. Censor motion में क्या है? The motion is moved to seek disapproval of certain policies of the government. It is moved to seek disapproval on certain policies of the government. कि कुछ policies है government के, उससे related ये तुम्हारा move किया जाता है, so as to seek disapproval and to seek to censor the government for its lapses. मतलब गवर्नमेंट की जो गलतियां हैं, जो lapses है, उसके लिए उसको सेंसर करना है. And it can be moved only in Lok Sabha and not in the Rajya Sabha. सिर्फ लोकसभा में ही आपको सेंसर मोशन मूव किया जा सकता है. नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन भी लोकसभा में है, एडजॉर्नमेंट मोशन भी आपका लोकसभा में. ठीक है, कॉल अटेंशन मोशन में मैंने आपको क्या बोला था? कॉलिंग द अटेंशन ऑफ द मिनिस्टर टू अ मैटर ऑफ अर्जेंट पब्लिक इंपॉर्टेंस एंड सीक एन अथॉरिटेटिव स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम देयर अपॉन. ठीक है, अथॉरिटेटिव स्टेटमेंट उससे सीक करना है, और ये राज्यसभा एंड लोकसभा दोनों में ये आपका होता है. ठीक है, एंड प्रिविलेज मोशन भी मैंने आपको बोला था. एंड देन वी हैड टॉक्ड अबाउट द क्लोजर मोशन आल्सो. क्लोजर मोशन में टू कट शॉर्ट द डिबेट on a matter before the house, and the debate is stopped and the matter is put to vote. Four kinds of closure motion था: simple closure, closure by compartment, kangaroo closure और guillotine closure. Then privilege motion भी क्या था? When the minister has committed a breach of privilege of the house or its member. कैसे? By withholding facts or giving wrong facts. या तो facts withhold किया या तो wrong facts दिया. So the purpose is to censor the concerned minister. That means उस concerned minister को ये formally strongly उसको ये बताना है कि you have done something wrong. And censor motion जो है, it is moved to seek the disapproval of a certain policy of the government, and it is to censor the government for its lapses. लोकसभा में मूव होता है, not in the Rajya Sabha. Now there has been a difference which I have brought between the two type of motions, whether it is the censor motion or whether it is the you can say no confidence motion. यहाँ पे एक difference आपको नजर आ रहा है कि censor motion में क्या है कि reason should be state adoption. मतलब for any censor motion, you have to state the reason for its adoption. But in no confidence motion, it need not state reasons for its adoption. Reasons की जरूरत नहीं है adoption के लिए. Here in censor motion, there is the reason which has to be stated. But here, there is no need for reasons to be stated. Now, this censor motion, it can be against an individual minister, group of ministers, or the entire council of ministers. इंडिविजुअल मिनिस्टर के भी खिलाफ हो सकता है, ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स के भी, और एंटायर काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स खिलाफ. एंड दिस इज ओनली मूव्ड अगेंस्ट द एंटायर काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स. एंड हियर द मेन रोल इज व्हाट? फॉर सेंसरिंग द काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स फॉर स्पेसिफिक पॉलिसीज. एंड censoring means for strongly criticizing and strongly holding them responsible for specific policies and action. But yahan pe it is moved to ascertain the confidence of the Lok Sabha in the ascertain. Ascertain means it is to see whether still the Council of Ministers, they enjoy the confidence of the Lok Sabha or not. Or censor motion, if it is passed in the Lok Sabha, the Council of Ministers need not resign from office. यहाँ पे Council of Ministers को office से resign नहीं करना है. But here the Council of Ministers must resign from office. Yes, any doubt? Censor and no confidence में? जल्दी बताओ. Does anyone has any doubt? Okay. Now, next comes motion of thanks. Motion of thanks में क्या होता है कि we all know that the president addresses the parliament on 2 occasions. Now, after the address of the president gets over, there is a motion of thanks being introduced. That means whatever the president has said, now on that the debate starts. Now, what happens is that the motion of thanks, when discussed, after that it is put to vote, and if the government loses it, then it means that it has lost the confidence and it may have to step down. तो इसीलिए motion of thanks important होता है. And motion of thanks में बोला जाता है the first session after each general elections and the first session of every fiscal year is addressed by the president. So these are the 2 occasions when the president addresses the parliament. Not one house, but both houses of the parliament jointly the president addresses. First one is after each general election. First session after each general election. And the second one is first session of every fiscal year. And in this address, the president outlines the policies and programs of the government in the preceding year and also the ensuing year. And this address of the president is discussed in both houses of the parliament on a motion called motion of thanks. Now, this is the address which is discussed by both the houses of the parliament, and the motion on which it is discussed is motion of thanks, and at the end of the discussion, the motion is put to vote, and this motion must be passed in the house, otherwise it amounts to the defeat of the government. कि ये मोशन को आपको हाउस में पास करना ही पड़ेगा, otherwise it leads to the defeat of the तुम्हारा. ठीक है, clear everyone? Hanji, any doubt? So this is the motion of thanks. Then comes a very important no day yet named motion. No day yet named motion का मतलब ये हो गया, the motion has been accepted by the speaker, yeah, by the presiding officer, but the presiding officer has not yet decided, yet has not yet fixed a date for its discussion. That means no day yet named motion में a motion that has been admitted by the speaker but no date has been fixed for its discussion. कोई भी डेट उसके डिस्कशन के लिए फिक्स नहीं हुआ है and the speaker in consultation with the leader of the house or on recommendation of the business advisory committee allots time for discussion of such a motion. मतलब for this motion the speaker has to take the consultation either from the leader of the house or has to take recommendations of the business advisory committee and then accordingly allocate time for the discussion of such motion. Then point of order, ये भी आपका एक बोल सकते हैं, you can say it's an extraordinary power. That means whenever the point of order comes in, then what happens? The business of the house there and then stops. ठीक है? So point of order में क्या होता है? In point of order, a member can raise a point of order when he or she feels that the proceedings of the house do not follow normal rules of procedure. मतलब point of order आप हमेशा देखोगे कोई ना कोई member खड़ा होके बोलता है point of order तो प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर बोलता है हाँ जी कौन सा पॉइंट का ऑर्डर पे आप बोल रहे हो तो वो पॉइंट को नंबर को वो बताते हैं so basically then the speaker goes and look at that number and sees whether it is genuine or not ठीक है so point of order में क्या है the member they can raise the point of order basically it is to halt the discussion to stop the discussion ये चीज किया जाता है तो the point of order is to raise a point of order when कोई भी member feels that the proceedings of the house, there is a rule of proceeding, the proceeding of the house has to follow that rule. But if it is not following any rule, the member can raise a point of order. और बोला जाता है ये एक extraordinary device है मैंने आपको बोला था because it suspends the proceeding before the house and no debate is allowed on the point of order. Clear? Then comes half an hour discussion. Now when we are talking about half an hour discussion means it is for how much? 30 minutes. Half an hour discussion, it's for 30 minutes and this is for discussing a matter of sufficient public importance and which has been to a lot of debate and the answer to which needs elucidation on a matter of fact. Elucidation का मतलब होता है एक wide spectrum में उसका आंसर देना है एक enlarged format में उसका आंसर आपको देना पड़ेगा. So it is for discussing a matter of sufficient public importance and the matter has already been subjected into a lot of debate. That means ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले बार उसके ऊपर कुछ debate start हो रहा है, discussion start हो रहा है. Already the matter has been put to a lot of debate, but the answer to which needs elucidate. और speaker यहाँ पे allot करता है 3 days a week for such ये, and there is no formal motion or voting before the house in such discussion. ऐसे discussions में कोई formal voting or motion नहीं. Then comes the short duration discussion. Short duration discussion जो है also known as 2-hour discussion, not exceed 2 hours, and the members of the parliament can raise such discussions on a matter of urgent. Remember it, it's a matter of urgent public importance. And the speaker allots 2 days in a week and there is no formal voting or motion. ठीक है जी? So this is with regard to short duration discussion. Yes, Anish? कहीं पे कोई doubt, कोई problem? राज्यसभा का मतलब जितने भी अभी हमने मोशंस पढ़े उनमें से कोई भी काम नहीं आ रहा है. That means the matter is not a point of order or that cannot be raised by using above discussed devices or under any rule of the house can be raised. So the house, it says the house can raise under, ठीक है, mention, special mention in the Rajya Sabha और ये equivalent है to the procedural device in Lok Sabha and is known as notice mention 377. ठीक है, notice mention 377 वही है कि लोक सभा a matter can be raised, ठीक है, and it is equivalent to special mention device used in Rajya Sabha for similar purpose. ठीक है, clear? Just a minute. ठीक है, so this is with regard to all the motions which we have done. ठीक है, so right from closure motion, closure means खत्म कर देना, then privilege, then calling attention motion, then adjournment motion, then we have the no confidence motion, then we have the closure motion, then the difference, then motion of thanks, then no day yet named motion, and after that there is a point of order, then half an hour discussion, short duration discussion, and special mention. ठीक है, clear everyone? Yes, Anish. ठीक है, क्लियर? चलो देखो, there is a procedure with regard to the ordinary bill, a procedure with regard to the finance bill. Already we have done the constitutional amendment wala. Now, as you all know that the bills are of 4 types: ordinary bill, money bill, financial bill, and constitutional amendment bill. Now, when we talk about the ordinary bill, तो ordinary bill जो है, it can be introduced in either of the house of the parliament, that is either by a minister or by any other member of the house. तो ordinary bill जो है, it can be introduced either of the house of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, and it can be used either by the member of the house or by the minister. अगर कोई bill introduce किया जाता है by the minister, that is called as private, that is called as public bill. If a bill is introduced by a ordinary, by any other member other than the minister, then that is referred as private member's bill. ठीक है, तो public bill and private bill. Public bill is introduced by the minister, private bill is introduced by any other member of the house. Then public bill, it basically highlights the government's policies and programs. But private bill, it is in पब्लिक बिल में we all know that there are more chances of it being getting passed. Private bill, there is less chance of it getting passed. ठीक है? So that is what is there. So when we are talking about the passing of the ordinary bill, then always remember that an ordinary bill can be introduced in the House of the Parliament either by a minister or by any member of the House. And in order to declare it passed, it becomes an act. Every ordinary bill has to pass through 5 stages. हर ordinary bill को 5 stages में pass करना है. Now 5 stages में सबसे पहला stage है first reading. The first stage is first reading. देखो 5 stages क्या क्या है? First reading, then comes the second reading, second reading के बाद third reading, third reading के बाद bill in the second house, and after that bill with the president. For his or her acceptance. See, ये 5 rounds है. अब जो first reading है, the member who wants to introduce the bill has to ask the leave of the house. जो member bill को introduce कर रहा है, that member has to ask the leave of the house. Now, leave of the house means you're trying to ask permission from the speaker, from the presiding officer, that you want to introduce a bill. That is what is the leave of the house. And when the speaker or the presiding officer gives the permission, then the leave is granted. And once the leave is granted, the member introduces the bill, reading its title and objectives. और ये bill publish होता है in the Gazette of India. That means ये जो first reading है, इसमें कुछ नहीं है, इसमें introduction है, या introduce the bill. ठीक है? It is introduce the bill by reading its title and objective. और इसी में publish the bill in the Gazette. बिल को पब्लिश किस में करना है? आपका गैजेट में पब्लिश करना है. ठीक है? To publish the bill in the Gazette. And please remember, no discussion on the bill takes place. इस स्टेज में कोई डिस्कशन टेक प्लेस नहीं करना. बिल को डायरेक्टली भी आप गैजेटे में पब्लिश कर सकते हो बिफोर इट्स इंट्रोडक्शन. In such case, leave of the house to introduce the bill is not necessary. Then comes the second reading. Second reading में आपका 3 stages है. Second reading, it gets divided into 3 stages. Remember it gets divided into 3. Stage of general discussion. remember it. Stage 2, it involves general as well as detailed scrutiny of the bill. बिल का जनरल स्क्रूटनी भी हो रहा है और इन डेप्थ स्क्रूटनी भी हो रहा है, डिटेल्ड स्क्रूटनी. So this stage is very important because the bill assumes its final shape. So it is the most important stage in the enactment of the bill. और इसमें बोला जाता है कि this stage it involves 3 sub stages. That is second reading में 3 sub stages है. First stage of general discussion, second committee stage, third consideration stage. अब ये जो stage है general discussion का, either one of the thing will be taken. That means in this stage the printed copies of the bill are distributed to all members of the house. मतलब second reading, it is the general as well as the detailed scrutiny on the bill. And in this second reading, the bill actually assumes its final shape. So it is the most important stage when it comes to the enactment of the bill. But this particular second reading has 3 sub stages. First stage of general discussion, second committee stage, and the third consideration stage. तो stage of general discussion में क्या होता है कि जो printed copies of the bill है, it is being distributed to the members of the house. The printed copies, they are distributed to the members of the house. And here what happens is that at this stage the house can take either of the 4 actions, can take any of the 4 actions. Remember it, any of the 4 actions. Any of the 4 actions का मतलब ये हो गया कि first जो है it is take the bill into consideration immediately or on some other fixed date. ये पहला है, take the bill into consideration immediately or on some other fixed date, or refer the bill to the select committee of the house. Select committee क्या होता है? Select committee is consist of members only of that house where the bill is originated. मतलब अगर लोकसभा में ये बिल को लाया गया है, इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया है, तो लोकसभा के मेंबर्स एक कमिटी बनाएंगे जिसको सेलेक्ट कमिटी बोला जाता है. बट अगर दोनों हाउसेस के कमिटीज बन गए तो उसको हम लोग जॉइंट कमिटी बोलते हैं. इसीलिए यहाँ पे और एक ऑप्शन है, और कर लो, यहाँ पे भी और कर लो, और एक ऑप्शन है कि रेफर द बिल टू द जॉइंट कमिटी, या लास्ट वन इज सर्कुलेट द बिल to elicit public opinion. Circulate means the presiding officer of either of the house, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, they say that the bill should be printed in the newspapers, published in the newspapers and other mass medias, so that the people they can give their opinions with regard to the bill. तो यही चीज है. So either of the action is taking place. So in this general discussion, printed copies of the bill, they are distributed to all members of the house, and at this stage the house can take any of the following actions, any of the following 4 actions. Number 1, take the bill into consideration immediately or on some other fixed date. तुरंत उस बिल को कंसिडरेशन में ले लो या ऑन सम अदर फिक्स्ड डेट. सेकंड, या तो उसको जॉइंट कमिटी, एक सेलेक्ट कमिटी में भेज दो, या तो जॉइंट कमिटी में भेज दो, या सर्कुलेट कर दो बिल को टू एलिसिट पब्लिक. नाउ देन कम्स द सेकंड स्टेज. नाउ इन दिस सेकंड स्टेज, मतलब सब स्टेज, इसमें बोला गया है कमिटी स्टेज. अब जैसे मैंने बोला 2 कमिटी, आइदर सेलेक्ट कमिटी या तो जॉइंट कमिटी. सो बिल को किसमें रेफर किया गया? सेलेक्ट कमिटी और द जॉइंट कमिटी. अब सेलेक्ट कमिटी और जॉइंट कमिटी क्या करता है? एग्जामिन करता है बिल थॉरोली इन डिटेल, क्लॉज बाय क्लॉज. दैट्स व्हाई सेकंड रीडिंग को बोला गया है कि हियर देयर इज जनरल डिस्कशन आल्सो टेकिंग प्लेस and a detailed discussion is also taking place. That's why because when the bill is sent to the select committee or the joint committee, then the committees what they do is that in detail, clause by clause, उस बिल को वो लोग क्या करते हैं? एग्जामिन करते हैं. and then the committee can also amend its provision. कमिटी के पास पावर है कि उसके कुछ प्रोविजंस को अमेंड कर सकता है, बट विदाउट ऑल्टरिंग द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ द बिल, कि वो जो प्रिंसिपल है, वो जो प्रिंसिपल गाइडलाइन, वो जो मतलब जिस प्रिंसिपल पे वो बिल बना है, मतलब मान लो वुमेन सेफ्टी से रिलेटेड बिल है, तो दे कैन नॉट चेंज दैट प्रिंसिपल ऑफ वुमेन सेफ्टी, बट यस दे कैन ब्रिंग अप सम amendments to it without altering the principle underlining it. And after completing the scrutiny and discussion, the committee reports the bill back to the house. अब रिपोर्ट कर दिया बैक टू द हाउस, अब हाउस में थर्ड स्टेज आ गया. थर्ड स्टेज जो है वो कंसिडरेशन स्टेज है. कंसिडरेशन का मतलब आफ्टर द हाउस रिसीव्स द बिल from the committee, whether select or joint committee, the house considers the provision of the bill clause by clause. Each clause को discuss किया जाता है, voted किया जाता है, and the members can move amendments, and if accepted they can be a part of the bill. तो consideration stage में हर clause को तुम्हारा डिस्कस किया जाता है, उसके ऊपर वोटिंग होती है, क्लॉज बाय क्लॉज डिस्कशन, clause by clause voting, and the members they can also give amendment, move amendments, और अगर accept होता है तो वो लास्ट आपका थर्ड स्टेज है. थर्ड स्टेज डिबेट is confined only to acceptance or rejection. There is no amendment allowed. मतलब यहां पे either आप accept or reject the bill. कोई amendment इसमें allowed नहीं है. थर्ड स्टेज रीडिंग में नो अमेंडमेंट इज अलाउड, और बोला जाता है इफ मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द मेंबर्स प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग एक्सेप्ट द बिल इज रिगार्डेड एंड पास्ड. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द मेंबर्स प्रेजेंट है, एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, एंड देन द बिल इज ऑथेंटिकेटेड बाय द प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर, और फिर उसके बाद उसको सेकंड हाउस भेज दिया जाता है. सेकंड हाउस में भी विदाउट एनी अमेंडमेंट्स अगर वो बिल को पास होता है, तब वो सीधा किसके पास चला जाता है, वो प्रेसिडेंट के पास. Now the second house के पास भी three stages है, first reading, second reading, third reading, but the second round house has four alternatives. एक, pass the bill as sent by the first house with or without amendments. Second, pass the bill with amendments and return it to the first house for consideration. पहला स्टेज क्या बोला कि बिल को पास कर दो with or without amendments, ठीक है. Second, pass the bill with amendments and return the bill to the first house for reconsideration. And third, it is reject the bill altogether. और fourth बोला जाता है not take any action and thus keep the bill pending. मतलब 6 months तक उस बिल को अगर वो पेंडिंग रख देता है, 6 months. Now बोला जाता है कि फर्स्ट केस में तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, सेकेंड थर्ड और फोर्थ केस में अगर होता है तो डेडलॉक अराइज हो जाता है. देयर इज अ डेडलॉक, मतलब इफ द सेकेंड हाउस पासेस द बिल विथ और विदाउट एनी अमेंडमेंट, or the first house accepts the amendment suggested by the second house, the bill is deemed to be passed by both houses and the same is sent to the president. मतलब सेकेंड हाउस ने बिल को पास कर दिया विदाउट एनी अमेंडमेंट, और इफ द सेकेंड हाउस हैज सेंट द बिल बैक टू द फर्स्ट हाउस विद अमेंडमेंट एंड द फर्स्ट हाउस हैज एक्सेप्टेड द अमेंडमेंट्स ऑफ द सेकेंड हाउस, देन द बिल इज डीम्ड टू बी पास्ड एंड सेंट टू द प्रेसिडेंट. बट अगर फर्स्ट हाउस रिजेक्ट कर देता है अमेंडमेंट्स suggested by the second house and the second house rejects the bill altogether, or the second house does not take any action on the bill, तो क्या होता है, डेडलॉक. दैट मींस सेकंड, थर्ड और फोर्थ सिचुएशन में आपका डेडलॉक क्रिएट हो गया, और डेडलॉक को रिजॉल्व करने के लिए प्रेसिडेंट क्या करता है, बोथ हाउसेस ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट को जॉइंट सेशन समन करता है, and in this joint session when majority of the वोटिंग, दे पास द बिल, तो वो बिल, और फिर उसके बाद बिल असेंट चला जाता है प्रेसिडेंट को। प्रेसिडेंट जो है उसके पास भी तीन ऑप्शंस है, गिव हिज और हर असेंट, withhold his or her assent और return the bill for reconsideration। बट प्रेसिडेंट एक बार ही रिटर्न कर सकता है, दूसरे बार जब रिकंसिडर्ड बिल प्रेसिडेंट के पास आता है तो उसको वो एक्सेप्ट करना ही